5.2. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Sannyasa Karma Yogascha Nishreyasa Karavubhau Tayostu Karma Sannyasat Karma Yoga Vishishyate. Personality of Godhead replied, the renunciation of work, which is sannyasa, and work in devotion, which is karma yoga, are both good for liberation. But of the two, karma yoga is better than sannyasa. Okay. So karma yoga is better than sannyasa. So generally people think that sannyasa is better, but Krishna is very clearly saying that karma yoga is better than simply renouncing work. Okay. Purport. Fruitive activities, which are activities which are done to seek sense gratification, are cause for material bondage, that we understand. As long as one is engaged in activities aimed at improving the standard of bodily comfort, Prabhupada is so nicely saying, one is engaged in activities aimed at improving standard of bodily comfort, one is sure to transmigrate to different types of bodies, thereby continuing material bondage perpetually. So even if we desire, uh, to just improve comfort, okay, you know, um, yeah, maybe I'm sleeping on some Karlan, but then some new brand has come. Let me sleep on that bed, right, or whatever. I mean, any kind of, even, or more simple. Okay, I am using a particular soap. Now something new has come. It will improve bodily comfort. This itself is enough for us to make us transmigrate, to come back. So any activity improved aimed at improving standard of any kind of bodily comfort will ensure that we are bound and we will come back. Srimad Bhagavatam confirms this as follows. Nunam pramatta kurute vikarma yadindriya priteya apranoti na sadhu manye yata atmanoyam asannapi kleshada asadeha parabhavastavad abodhajato yavanna jignasata atmatattvam yavat kriyastavad manovai karmatmakam yena sharira bandha evam manakarma vasham prayunkte avidya atman upadhiyamane Pritirnayavan mai vasudevena muchyate deha yogena tavat. People are mad after sense gratification and they do not know that this present body, which is full of miseries, is a result of one's furtive activities in the past. Do we ever think about it that way? We should look at ourselves, our body, and say, this is a result of my previous activities. So if it is nice body, then also we can think, okay, I did some good things in the past. If it is not nice and troubling us through mind, body, etc., then also we can understand we have not done something good in the past. But we should understand, okay, I have not done something good in the past, or I've done something good in the past. It's not because of my current life, it's because of my past life or lives. Although this body is temporary, it is always giving on trouble in many ways. At least I have experienced this. Many people experience this more at the mind level. And some people don't experience, because two types of people don't experience. One is those in the mode of ignorance. They don't experience bodily pain or mental pain, generally material pain, because they're in the mode of ignorance, right? And those in the mode of goodness, they also don't experience. Now, those in the mode of goodness, either of them, mode of goodness people also might not come to bhakti because things are okay. I mean, there's nothing bad about this place. Okay. So that way, people who suffer in their life have um, greatest chances of remaining fixed in Krishna consciousness because they've really experienced it. So we should understand. So if we are going through any kind of trouble, it is just to show us practically, saying that, okay, see, this body is miserable. Don't live for this body. live for the soul. And so then we will understand, okay, what living for the soul means, etc., etc. Therefore, to act for sense gratification is not good. Prabhupada, Bhagavatam is saying, to act for sense gratification is not good. One is considered to be a failure in life as long as he makes no inquiry about his real identity. Because we are always so absorbed in our false identity, which is that I am this body, that we have no time nor interest nor even know-how that I should ask this question. That, okay, I should ask, who am I? Now, we've always firmly believed that, oh, I am this body or I am this mind. So no question about asking. We don't even know that there is something like a real identity. So what is the question about asking anything? Okay. As long as he does not know his real identity, he has to work for fruitive activities for sense gratification. And as long as one is engrossed in this consciousness of sense gratification, one has to try and transmigrate from one body to another. So simple. Because fruitive activities are for this body. So when we are engaged in fruitive activities, then we will require the body to enjoy or suffer. So we will transmigrate. Although the mind may be engrossed in fruitive activities and influenced by ignorance, one must develop a love for devotion service to Vasudeva. So this is the beauty. Bhagavatam is saying it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you're engaged in fruitive activities, whether you're in tamoguna. Somehow just develop love for Krishna. Only then can one have the opportunity to get out of the bondage of material existence. There is no other way. So one must develop love for devotional service to Vasudeva. And how does one develop love for devotional service to Vasudeva? By associating with those who are engaged in that way, engaged in devotional service with love to Vasudeva. We can also learn. It's very simple, right? Association. Whatever type of association we do, that we learn accordingly. But clearly, life is not for sense gratification. That hopefully all of us are clear about it. Life is to serve Krishna and develop love for him. Initially, there might not be any love. There might just be a matter of obligation, rules, etc., etc. But eventually, we will get there. So, any kind of sense gratification will hold us back. Therefore, gnana or knowledge that one is not this material body but spiritual is not sufficient for liberation. So, Krishna here is saying sannyasa, just renouncing things is of no use. So Prabhupada is saying that simply knowing that I am the spirit soul is of no use. One has to act in the status of spirit soul. This is very, very important. And that is why Prabhupada coined this word bhakti seva, devotional service, because there is practical service involved, right? It's not theoretical. It's not something that we just simply hear from on one ear and then leave. So if, and for any kind of service, basic requirement in this material world is time, not money. Basic requirement for us to engage in service is time, not even qualification. Because no qualification is required for Krishna consciousness. All we require is time. If we don't have time, then how will we get out of bondage? Then there is no scope. There's no escape from material bondage. Action is in Krishna consciousness is not, however, action on the fruity platform, but there is action. It's not inaction, right? And action has to be will requires time. If you don't give time to Krishna, then how can we progress towards him? Activities performed in full knowledge strengthen one's advancement in real knowledge. Activities performed in full knowledge strengthen one's advancement in real knowledge. So when we have basically means that when we act knowing that we are part and parcel of Krishna, that is full knowledge, and that Krishna is Supreme Lord, we are part and parcel of Krishna. When we act, when we do activities in this way, that means that when we do activities in devotional service, that strengthens our advancement in real knowledge. Now, real knowledge is actually knowledge about Krishna. That knowledge about Krishna will become revealed to us in course of time. For that also, we need to engage in activities of bhakti, knowing that we are part and parcel of Krishna. Without Krishna consciousness, mere renunciation of fruitive activities does not actually purify the heart. No, this is very important. So everything that we do, we will discuss this further in fifth chapter later. Fifth or sixth, fifth only, I think. Or we already discussed it, I think. Confused anyway. So that one has to do everything for just purification. Everything has to be done just for purification. So by renunciation, the purification doesn't happen because heart still has the desires. Just that we have externally given up some activity, but heart is still full of desires. As long as the heart is not purified, one has to work on the fruity platform. So that is why Krishna was telling Arjuna, saying, anyway, you are going to fight because you are a Kshatriya. Your heart is not purified of course, I mean, this Arjuna was just playing in that role of Kshatriya, and your not heart is still you're alive, you're inclined to fight because you're a Kshatriya. So you can't just run away to the forest because somehow you're going to come back and fight. So you better fight now. Why run away? As long as one's heart is not purified, then we'll act based on our nature, original nature with which we were born. But action in Krishna consciousness automatically helps one escape the result of fruitive action so that one need not descend to the material platform. So we have to act in Krishna consciousness. That is the key. Therefore, action in Krishna consciousness is always superior to renunciation, which always entails a risk of falling. Why there is risk of falling in renunciation? Because the heart is not cleansed. So anytime that thought, that desire might come up again, and anytime it might force us to engage in non-devotional activities. Uh, Renunciation without Krishna consciousness is incomplete, as is confirmed by Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Prapanchikataya Buddhya, Hadi Sambandhi Mokshi Parityago, Vairagyam Falgu Katyate. When persons eager to achieve liberation renounce things related to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, thinking them to be material, their renunciation is called incomplete. Renunciation is complete when it is in the knowledge that everything in existence belongs to Krishna. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Everything belongs to Krishna, and that one should claim no proprietorship over anything. That is real renunciation, not simply giving up things. We own things, but we still say that this doesn't belong to me. And how do we use it? Because it belongs to Krishna, we use it for Krishna. One should understand that factually nothing belongs to him. And then where is the question of renunciation? This is amazing logic, no? Prabhupada puts. Renunciation means that you need to own something to renounce. You can't simply say, go, okay, neighbor has a vehicle. Now I renounce that vehicle and then just sell it off to somebody or something like that. I mean, it sounds so ridiculous, right? It doesn't belong to us only. How can we renounce it? So nothing belongs to us. How can we renounce? So that means that this whole concept of renunciation is falgu, is incomplete, cheating. One who knows that everything is Krishna's property is always situated in renunciation. Since everything belongs to Krishna, everything should be employed in the service of Krishna. This perfect form of action in Krishna consciousness is far better than any amount of artificial renunciation by a sannyasi of the Mayavadi school. So we don't want artificial renunciation. We want real renunciation. Real renunciation means, okay, if you have whatever you have, use it in Krishna's service. If you're intelligent, use your intelligence in Krishna service. If you can sing, use your singing in Krishna service. Whatever, right? If you're a fighter, Kshatriya, use it in Krishna service. Whatever we have, whatever qualities, whatever assets, whatever skills, everything we just use it in Krishna service. Then there's no question of renunciation because it's artificial. And this is one of the major differences between how people generally look at bhakti and saints and all that. According to them, all saints should wear saffron, all saints should have given up their family. Not at all true. Not at all true. Hmm? Arjuna was a kshatriya. He was not a sannyasi, a grihastha kshatriya. And Krishna is telling you, fight. uh, as you're fighting, you think about me. Mam anusmara yuddhacha, Krishna says. So this is a big difference between general understanding, what bhakti is, etc., in this world, And what Krishna consciousness, what Bhagavad Gita or Srila Prabhupada teaches is that whatever we have, use it for Krishna. And that is the reason why we keep somehow keep trying to push devotees, saying that distribute books, do this, do that, so that whatever assets, main asset we have is Lakshmi, money. We have to try and use it as much as possible in Krishna service. There are devotees, our devotees here who are every month, like Anu Prabhu is ready to donate one Bhagavatam set every month. So we should have that mood, saying that somehow I should use this money in Krishna service, right? Otherwise, how are we going to make progress? We won't make progress, because for grahasthas, money we earn is our biggest bondage and asset and requirement, both, everything. We need it because we have to take care of our family, because that's our responsibility, but we should not get attached to it. So the best way is earn it, use it in Krishna service, use whatever else in remains in our for our requirement, for our needs, etc. Or even if we do the other wrong way around, we can use whatever is required for our service initially for our requirement, and then at least use the remaining in Krishna service. Then we become free. Then we become free. Then actually heart becomes purified. This is the beauty. See, everybody has to become purified, like I said. So everybody has their own way of purification. Sometimes somebody will have to go through Grihastha life to get purified. Some people need to go through Brahmachari life to get purified, and so on and so forth. So it is okay. There's nothing wrong. So Krishna is clearly saying, no, sannyasa, do karma yoga. Once you are purified after doing karma yoga, then you can do vanaprastha and then eventually sannyas. Okay, 5.3. Gneya sanitya sannyasi yonadveshti na kankshati nidvandvo hi mahabaho sambandhat pramuchyate. One who neither hates nor desires. See, this is very important in bhakti. We don't hate nor we desire. The fruits of the activities is known to be always renounced. So we should not be attached nor too detached. Not like we are running away from something. We don't have to run away from anything. So we should understand this very, very nicely. This is also another big difference. Renunciation versus equipoised. We should be equipoised, free from dualities. We live in this material world because we have to live in this material world. We have come into this material world, but we don't get affected by it. We just simply live and do our Krishna conscious activities, do our duties, and not get affected by anything. This should be how we should live. That is liberation. Such a person free from all dualities easily overcomes material bondage and is completely liberated. This is liberation. Just being equipoised in life situations, whatever life offers, we should understand, okay, it is Krishna's mercy. Because Krishna knows that this is the way for my purification. So he has given me this. Right? So we should not hate nor desire. See, because if we give up anything because we don't like it and we are not able to tolerate it, then that means that we are not pure, we are not purified. We will get stuck with something else. May not be this specific thing, but we will get stuck with something else. Right? So what is the point in just escaping something to get stuck in another similar or another problem which the same result? So it is, we shouldn't run away from situations. We should understand. We should get purified. We should purify ourselves. Go through situations, purify ourselves. Depend on Krishna, surrender to Guru. That is how we should actually progress. And Krishna will give us exactly what is required. He knows exactly what is required for our progress. Okay, one who is fully in Krishna consciousness is always a renouncer, because he feels neither hatred nor desire for the results of his actions. See, it's so beautiful. Whatever situation we are in, one who is fully in Krishna consciousness, he is not affected at all. Neither feels hatred nor desire. Such a renouncer, dedicated to the transcendental loving service of the Lord, is fully qualified in knowledge. See, for this renunciate to actually be able to renounce anything, We should be in this stage, dedicated to loving service of the Lord. Then we can give up. That is the stage when we can literally give up. I mean, we can give up relations at this stage. But this is not a ordinary thing to achieve. Loving service to Krishna, that will take us like years of sadhana and purification. Only then we'll get there. And purification is, how do we achieve purification? By going through life situations. That's how we are going to get purified, especially grastas. Brahmacharis, it's different. Even for them, it's just the nature of problems, nature of situations, etc. will be different. But for everybody gets purified by being tolerant with life situations. That is why Krishna earlier on in second chapter only says, Tams Tikshasva Bharata, tolerate, Baba, don't jump up and down, tolerate things, become purified. Come to the stage when nothing is affecting you, then you can go, then you can do other things. Such a renouncer is fully qualified in knowledge because he knows his constitutional position in his relationship with Krishna. He knows fully well that Krishna is the whole and that he is the part and parcel of Krishna. Such knowledge is perfect because it is qualitatively and quantitatively correct. The concept of oneness with Krishna is incorrect because the part cannot be equal to the whole. Knowledge that one is one in quality yet different in quantity is correct transcendental knowledge, leading one to become full in himself. So what does this mean? One is one in quality. Quality, yes, because qualitatively we are one with Krishna because we have 50 qualities which are all present in Krishna, but we have them in minute quantities, but Krishna has them in full. So it is a one in quality but different in quantity. That is okay. That is the correct transcendental knowledge. And then it leads one to become full in himself. Full in himself means nothing is required, having nothing to aspire or lament for, lament over. Because we know that, okay, I'm Atma. I don't need anything belonging to this material world. I just need self-preservation. I just need to be living. And of course, then there is dharma. I cannot be doing things that are wrong because then that becomes adharma. I cannot become a devotee if I am living a dharmic life. And a big part of adharma is doing dharma itself more than doing. Somebody might say, okay, only doing wrong things is adharma. No, not doing the right things is also adharma. So there is a difference here. Doing wrong things is adharma. Not doing the right things is also adharma. And these are two different things. Example, going and beating somebody is doing the wrong thing. So it is adharma. But not doing our duty is also adharma. Like for example, not helping somebody who is in need of help is adharma. We might not trouble them, but we are not giving them the required help that we should be giving. Right? That is adharma. So like this. But this person who is in that stage, he is full in himself because nothing, he requires nothing from this world. There's no duality in his mind. So there is no duality. So this is the key. Right? There is no black, white, good, right, wrong on the material platform. There is right, wrong on the spiritual platform. Right? But on the material platform, there is no right, wrong. Most people, we get stuck in the right, wrong of this material world, which is absolutely not required for us. Anyway, this is, we'll discuss that in course of time. It's a very subtle topic, need to be understood very clearly before we start applying in life. There is no duality, duality in his mind because whatever he does for Krishna. Being thus freed from the platform of dualities, he is liberated even in this material world. When we do things for ourselves, then we have duality in mind. Oh, maybe I should want it, maybe I don't want it. But when he is doing for Krishna, he is free from all dualities. He knows, okay, if Krishna wants it, he will make it happen. If Krishna doesn't want it, then it will fail. So he is free from this, success, failure, right, wrong platform. He is liberated even in this material world. So we should not hate nor desire anything on the material platform. Don't dislike something, hate something, don't desire something. Okay, some question. One giving and adopting modern life. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Soumya Mataji, sorry. Answer is yes. Answer is yes. Right. So we should not, but then see the other thing also is that we have to be convinced about this ourselves. Like, I mean, I will give our own example, like my wife Shraddha. So she was working when we came into Krishna consciousness. But after that, after reading, after hearing from Guru Maharaj, etc., then, it became very clear that Sri Dharma is actually a lot more than what we had thought. And it's absolutely not working outside. And it encompasses so many other things for which one lady needs to have time. And in trying to do both house and family, house and work, we are being unreasonable and putting so many expectations on women that eventually it spoils their health, because they're under so much pressure. Expectations at home will not reduce, right? I mean, if there are in-laws, in-laws have their own expectations out of daughter-in-law, whether she's working, not working, they don't understand because their worldview, they never worked, right? They don't understand what it is to deal with corporate pressure, etc., etc. So when, like, so you have to cook many a times. Of course, nowadays people keep cooks and all that, which is very low class. At least one should be cooking, right? Mataji should be cooking. Then you have to go, you have to take care of office responsibilities. Then children will require attention. Elders will require attention. Who will do all that? So if a stree, she takes up, wants to do outside work and not housework, then she's not doing her dharma. Then she's doing somebody else's dharma. She's doing purusha dharma, giving up stree dharma. So which is not which is not dharmic at all. But it may take some time for people to understand this and come to the acceptance, saying that okay, then let me not do it. But it should not be pushed, forced. At the same time, it's not something that should be ignored, right? One should think about it, contemplate, and then understand and then act accordingly, right? Which is why I generally encourage. I've seen the difference in Shraddha's life before and after. um, I think that it was the right thing, because she's now happy doing whatever. She uses her intelligence, time and intelligence to do so much of seva, work, house seva, and other services as well, for books, with respect to books, or many Matajis do with respect to deity worship, decoration, clothes. I mean, skills that generally women have can be so very nicely utilized. So absolutely, and more importantly than whether it is dharma or adharma, actually women are most happy doing that. While most women don't know that they would be happy in doing, because this is so natural. It's so natural. So yeah, I mean, this is like a huge topic.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Anybody? I think these verses are all very heavy because they're all for practical application, right? I mean, each and every line Prabhupada has loaded so much of practicality that unless we read it from that perspective with a clear understanding, first thing is we might not understand the purport at all. So it's important to trash out any confusion or any other thoughts. Anybody?
So I have a question. So Prabhupada writes that although lesson, it should be quantitatively and qualitatively good, right? So
which is qualitative and quantitatively good? Knowledge.
No, the contribution which one has in his life in terms of actions, right? Because those actions which are not in Krishna consciousness, that is like completely, I mean, it's of poor quality, obviously. But here it is mentioned about Krishna conscious actions, right? Because then only the person can be free from neither hatred nor desire, right?
No, both ways, both ways. So, okay, so I understood your question. So one is that even if one comes to Sattva Guna and he can be free from dualities, that is also a good platform, because then he can very easily come to Bhakti, right? But if somebody is engaged in Bhakti anyway, because of Bhakti, they will become equipoised. You understand?
Yeah.
Right? So there are two ways of doing this. That is the reason why people who are in Sattva Guna are most I mean, maximum possibility that they will become devotees, because they already live this life to some extent, not affected by situations, somewhat have some believe that, okay, there is some superior power. It's very easy for them to become devotees, right? But those who were, say, even, I mean, like mode of ignorance or passion, Prabhupada in the previous purport writes, right? Somehow develop love, somehow engage in devotional service. Then what happens? By devotional service, we will slowly come to Sattvic platform, but even maybe, like one leg is still there in Rajasic or Tamasic, but little bit of Sattvic platform, then we will start experiencing this giving up this duality of like and dislike. So either way it can be achieved.
Yeah. So here the quantity which is mentioned, that the part cannot be equal to the whole. Is it because of the existence, or is it because the contribution? So for example, if a person who is doing Krishna conscious activities, but he is not able to succeed in a big way.
No, 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 no. That's
it,
not what is being said here. Here it is just saying that don't think you are Krishna.
Yeah.
Concept of oneness with Krishna. I am not Krishna. I am qualitatively one with Krishna. Krishna will lift Govardhan. I will lift one, small kartal. That is the difference between me and Krishna. So qualitatively, I can also lift. He also lifts. I can also lift. But my lifting cannot be compared to his.
Yeah. So I think it is not related to the efforts which a person is doing.
No, 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 no. This statement is very clear, no, Prabhu. The concept of oneness.
Yeah.
Prabhupada, whenever Prabhupada talks about qualitative and quantitative, we should understand he is refuting Mayavad.
Yeah.
Right? Such knowledge is perfect because it is qualitatively and quantitatively correct. The concept of oneness with Krishna is incorrect.
Yeah.
Because part cannot be equal to the whole. So this statement, these two statements are simply refuting Mayavad in the middle. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Next verse we'll do one more. 5.4. Sankhya yogo prutak bala pravadantayana panditaha ekam api astita samyag ubayor vindate phalam. Only the ignorant speak of devotional service karma yoga as being different from the analytical study of Sankhya. Those who are actually learned say that one who applies himself well to one of these paths achieves the same result of both. Okay, so it's slightly technical. Anyway, the aim of analytical study of the material world is to find the soul of existence. This is analytical study, Sankhya. The soul of the material world is Vishnu, or the super soul. Devotional service to the Lord entails service to the super soul. One process is to find the root of the tree, and the other is to water the root. So basically here Prabhupada is saying that, you can do Sankhya, by doing Sankhya what? You will come to Vishnu only, because Vishnu is what you are searching for. He is the soul of existence. You will come to Vishnu. And when you come to Vishnu, what will you do? You will water the root. You found the root. That, okay, Vishnu is the root. Now what will you do? You will water the root. So it is the same thing as Karma Yoga, because even in Karma Yoga, you are watering the root. The real student of Sankhya finds the root of the material world, Vishnu, and then in perfect knowledge engages himself in the service of the Lord. Therefore, in essence, there is no difference between the two, because of the aim is both Vishnu. Those who do not know the ultimate end say that the purposes of Sankhya and Karma Yoga are not the same. Why? Because Sankhya seems like so much of technicalities, metaphysics. One can get stuck in the metaphysics platform without coming to the goal. So they might just be analyzing elements and breaking it into smaller and smaller elements and trying to understand its characteristic, this, that, and all that, and might get stuck there. But eventually, ultimate, Eventually, it is to come to Vishnu, to know that Vishnu is the soul of existence, right? And when one comes to that platform, then when you know that Vishnu is the root, then you will water the root, then you will engage in devotion service, right? So basically, Krishna is saying Gnana or Karma both are same, but one who is learned knows the unifying aim. So one should be learned, not get stuck in just on the surface saying that okay, I'm doing Sankhya, that means Gnana. So then my Lord has no form. That is ridiculous. One who is learned knows the unifying aim. The unifying aim is to find Vishnu, who is the source of everything, is Vishnu, Krishna. So I should serve. So irrespective, whatever path we are taking is not important. That one who applies himself well to both. This is very important. This word well. Well means that perfectly, knowing exactly what that process is entailing or what it will give us. Once we engage, then finally everybody comes to Bhakti Yoga. There's no other way of achieving Krishna without coming to Bhakti Yoga. So it doesn't matter which path we take also determines how much time we are going to take, right? If you have to read Sankhya and do all this analysis, etc., and then come to Bhakti, maybe it will take us multiple lifetimes, right? So better directly engage in devotional service, easier. Okay, question. In a family where there is no men, can women work? Yeah, no, I mean, okay, so this is a very generic question. Yeah, if men are not there, and I mean, it's a very generic question. Um, yeah, I mean, if there's nobody to earn living, and somebody has to earn living, right? So then it is not adharma from that perspective. But then see, there are various considerations here. Okay, so hypothetical, but I'm also hypothesizing here. Say, for example, somebody is married and then they divorce. Okay, and the lady is responsible for the divorce. So I'm just I'm just assuming certain things here. If the lady wanted a divorce, why? Because the husband was bad or not cooperative or whatever, abusive, etc., etc., etc. Then that is a situation that could have been avoided if somebody was in Krishna consciousness. If the lady was in Krishna consciousness, she could have avoided that situation of divorce. Um, now, no, if the man wanted divorce and and okay, then it's unfortunate situation. Then lady is alone, or she's given left the responsibility, and she has to take care. She has to work. Yeah, okay. And of course, I mean, if there's a possibility of a second marriage, then it should absolutely be considered, because whatever previous situation, somebody had to separate and then all responsibility came. Now, this is with respect to people who are young and who are married and divorced and so on and so forth. And then there will be somewhere, like after many years of marriage, etc., somebody passes away, unfortunately, and then there is still financial responsibility and somebody needs to take care and they don't have children, etc., etc., then people will have to work. I mean, see, this adharma business is when, okay, we should understand one thing, right? See, in there is something called as apad dharma. Okay, Shastra talks about apad dharma. Apad dharma means emergency work. When there is an emergency, you will do whatever it takes. As simple as that. But the clarity of thought needs to be whether this is actually emergency or I simply I'm simply classifying it as emergency. That needs to be very clearly asserted. If it is clear that it is an emergency, which means that there is no other option at all of escaping or coming out of the situation, then it will not remain adharma. But Shastra also says, as soon as there is an opportunity to get out of that situation, one should find a way and get out. Not that just accept that as accept emergency. We can't live in emergency throughout our life. Somehow we should figure out a way to come out. So then we come out of the apadharma also. Like example is given, like Parshurama once, or Vishwamitra. Once Vishwamitra was engaged in some tapasya, and For some reason, he had to eat food in the house of a Chandala, dog eater, because otherwise he would have died. And something that he was doing was more important than just giving up his life for not eating in the house of a Chandala, because previously these are all very strict and there are reasons for it. In Kali Yuga anyway, Kalo Shudra Sambhavaha, everybody is born Shudra. But previously it was not like that. There were qualified Brahmanas and then there were not qualified Chandalas. So in one situation he had to eat and he eats food in the house of a Chandala. Now, as soon as after that, the son or somebody from the house, they come and give water. Vishwamitra then like scolds them, like saying that why are you giving? How can I take water from the hand of Chandala? And then that family is confused. Like, Arey Baba, you are eating food. What is the what is the problem? You can drink water also, no? Then Vishwamitra says, no, I ate food from you because I was dying. If I don't drink water from you, I'm not going to die because my whatever is required for my body is taken. Now, if I do this, now it is not apadharma. That was apadharma. So I ate food in your house. But this is not apadharma, so this will result in adharma. So I will not take water. So like this Shastra, like it's very intricate. So some of these, I mean, this question can be only answered accurately only when there is very clear information about what the situation is, history, etc., etc. Then we can say whether this is right or wrong. But in general, if it is emergency, then emergency dharma can be broken. But otherwise, as soon as the emergency can be reversed or favorable situation can be created, it should be created and accepted. But generally, Shastra doesn't talk about. The social system used to be like that, wherein women was never left alone. But Kali Yuga situations can be very challenging. Yeah, in that case, I guess the apadharma can be utilized. Okay, I think we will stop here unless anybody has any questions. Okay, thank you so much for joining. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya patitanam pavanebhyo. Hare Krishna. Mataji asked the question, exited. So I think I answered something nasty. Okay. Hare Krishna, am I audible?
Yes, bro.
Okay. I thought like suddenly screen froze. Mataji joined back. Okay. So we will end here. Anybody has anything to say? Okay. Fine. Then we'll meet on Wednesday, Krishna Vini. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.